just say, let's just say 6. Let's just say 150. Let's say game end. Okay. Scripts can hold arguments, which will be really useful. If you ever done programming before, you should know what arguments are. I think if not, then it's pretty useful. They're basically needed when you're doing scripting, because it's useful, because in scripting language you want to ask, basically programming is about if and else's and execute doing this and doing that. To those are the commands that make up your game. But if you're gonna for people that have done Java or something like that, something you might have heard of this term before, which is like return. Yeah, that is, you'd be using that in scripts as well if you go into game maker language later on. So if I did that and I put in an object, so let's just say in a step event control, let's say I'll add let's just say step is plus equals 1. Okay, and let's just put step is equal to 0. Now if I put the step here, I can put script 0 bracket and put step here and put step as an argument. Basically, whatever, you don't always have to put anything in a bracket. Usually if you do that, that means it will run script. But since we're putting step as argument 0. You'll learn later more about the arguments and stuff like that. So if we run the game, the game should end in about 5 seconds or so. There we go. And I did not press anything. Alright. Now it gets back on track. Scripts are really useful in the game if you like make some battle engine, like a Pokemon game or Zelda or Mario. They're basically like inbuilt functions, such as this word direction. They'll be really useful. Now you have font, where you can basically get all these fonts and you can edit it, all letters, do that. There's create a timeline. Basically these timelines are useful for giving objects command at certain moments, such as basically you can put add. Basically at step 0, when usually these are steps, so if I put step 300, that means after 300 steps this timeline has been running. I can do this. Let's just say destroy the object. Okay, and for this I'll delete this code, and let's say we just run the thing. Let's run the timeline. They're really useful. So basically, if you were to make let's say some Mario game, and you want to program a boss that moves left for 3 seconds, you could do that, and then you can make him throw an object after that, and then move right for 3 seconds, and then jump, and that's what timelines are useful for. And it's just object, which are basically things that make up your game. They can be represented by a sprite, or they can be invisible. They can do all these functions. And lastly is create a room. We can basically create the room, basically your level. Basically the room where things happen. This is what you'll see in the game. And there's also tiles. We can put tiles instead of having, if you want to, for example, for a Mario game, you can have a tile set, basically of like all the tiles, like such as the ground, in the sky, and you can just put like masks of solid objects so that you can't see them. And it's particularly useful because you do not want to have like 1,000 objects which are, you know, solid, and yet, you know, it uses a lot of data. So yeah. And these are settings. That's a room speed. They're basically the number of steps done in a second. And a creation code, basically code happens when the room is created, just like an object. So if I put here show info and we run the game, this code will be, you know, executed once the object has once the room has, you know, started. So yeah, failed there, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now first of all, now we're gonna do we're gonna be looking more into objects. So first of all, what is an